Hi, everybody. It's Deanna with Tools of EnergyProtection.com, your energy shift expert and Akashic Records advisor. Hi, everybody. So I've got Facebook tonight and Instagram. Hi on Instagram, Deanna with Tools of EnergyProtection.com, your energy shift expert and Akashic Records advisor. Hi, and welcome to everybody tonight. It is March 23rd, 2021. And I'm really super glad for all of you to join me this evening. And tonight we're going to talk about three different topics. And the first one we're going to talk about is how do your angels and guides communicate with you? Had a lot of folks wanting to know, what does that look like? Either you're learning how your guides talk to you, or perhaps you think they don't talk to you, or speak to you, or communicate to you. And you've been wondering, how do they communicate to me? So I'm going to talk about three different ways that my angels or guides communicate with me, and hopefully, just over here on Instagram, there we go. Hi. Hopefully you'll be able to identify with some of these ways so that you know, since you've been asking, hey, guides, can you show me? And you feel alone, you can actually know that they are communicating with you. You can know that they are speaking with you and to you. So let's get busy with that. And if anybody has a comment uh, for me, if you can put it down here in the feed below, and I will respond to comments. And the same way over here on Instagram. Instagram, I promise I'm going to get your camera a little bit better. It's one step at a time. Taking action in today's world, getting things taken care of, kind of an amazing process. And I have, as you know, limited staff on these nights. So anyway, welcome aboard, everybody. Glad to see that you're on tonight. And again, I came on just a little bit later. Sometimes it takes me a while to get everything set up here on the set and rolling and rocking and all that stuff. So anyway, let's talk about how our guides how we can know if our angels or our guides are speaking with us or to us, because that's so important, especially in the times we live in. There's so many different things, so many different thoughts, feelings, emotions going on, and we don't really know what to do. We don't know how to take action and all kinds of things. So the first way that just a moment here. The first way that you can know if your angels or guides are talking to you, there we go. One of the last minute people that was helping me to make sure everything was rocking tonight was messaging me, telling me it's all done, so we're good. Okay. So there's three different ways that I want to talk to you about tonight about how your guides and angels communicate with you. Then we're going to talk about how to take action because we talked about that a little bit last night because I had a special broadcast in case you missed that. If you're on YouTube, go to the one before, right before this, uh, and I'm going to talk about how that it's important to take action and why, and talk a little bit more about Schumann's. Then, if you're on Facebook, I believe if you go down here in the feed to last night, there's two different ones. I was trying a new platform, so I had to switch in the middle because it wasn't quite working. But there's two different ones, and I'm talking about taking action and how important it is and why, and the energies that are supporting us. Right now, we have a little breath, and then it's going to stir up again, and we'll talk about that as well. So, anyway, here we go. So, number one, how do you know your angels or guides are communicating with you? Ask for a sign. Okay, I know that sounds kind of quaint and cliche, but ask for a sign because if you want to know if your angels and guides are working with you, you've got to establish a way to communicate with them. Because if you are not establishing a way to communicate with them, how do they know how you're able to receive it or what you're looking for? And a lot of people think, well, angels and guides, they're like, oh, and we can't tell them what to do, that kind of thing. Baloney. You're not telling them what to do. You're asking them how to communicate with you. So if you have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a wife, a husband, brother, a sister, a best friend, and you two don't communicate well and get along, it's the relationship's not going anywhere. So the same applies when you're speaking or asking your angels or guides to work with you. If you and they are not on the same page about how to communicate, I'll tell you just a little story that you might find funny, but it's actually very true and very poignant. So this is an allegory, or a little story, that there was a man who was in an area that was beginning to flood. It was raining and raining and raining. And so he's in his house, and his house is filling up with water. And he thinks, oh my goodness, and he prays, God, God, please send somebody to rescue me. I need help. And so as the house begins to fill up more and more with water, he kind of gives up hope, and he climbs up to the top of the roof, and he's on the top of the roof, and he says, God, God, please rescue me. And not too long after that, a boat came along, and there were some people in it, and they said, hey, let me get you off your roof, jump in the boat, and we'll rescue you. And the man said, no, 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 that's okay, you go on. So a little bit, later he's praying again, God, God, please rescue me. And the water's getting even higher. The man's face on his roof is smaller. And a little bit later, a helicopter comes by and it drops down a rope. And the guy in the helicopter says, grab onto the rope, and we'll pull you up. The guy's like, no, 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 I'm waiting on God to come and rescue me. And so they leave. And the water rises, and eventually the man drowns. And he gets up to heaven, and he asks, his angels, why didn't God rescue me? And the angels said, God answered your prayers twice, and you refused each time. So the problem there was that the man wasn't understanding how God was communicating to him, but he was actually sending him help in the form of a human being. And that's a lot of times what happens for us when we ask for help. God's Spirit or Source will move the power of the mind of another person who has an open heart and open mind, and they're ready, willing, and able to serve. And that message will come to that person, and that person will then find a way to help you. This is normal. This is how God's Spirit or Source works, or if you want to call it the universe, or Chi, or Zen, or whatever it is you want to call it. That's how it works. We are all one. All of us in this universe are one. And when we're ready, willing, and able to receive information, we may receive information that says, hey, I need you to go over here and help this person because they need help. And sometimes that happens faster than we realize. And sorry to my Instagram people, my Instagram camera is not wanting to cooperate, so I'm going to reshuffle it here in just a minute. All right, here we go. So anyway, the point is that if you want a sign from your angels, communicate with them on how you best receive information. What does that feel like or look like for you? Because once you have an open line of communication, it's going to be much easier for them to communicate to you, so you don't get your signals crossed. Okay? And somebody may say, well, what what kind of a sign do I ask for? You can ask for anything you like. Doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get it, but you can ask for anything you like. So one of the things that you might ask for is you might ask for, one moment over here, please. Okay. Let's see what we've got. Sorry, my Instagram folks over here. Let's see here. Really do need some help. Let's see here. Gotta get me some help in here to help me with my lives and stuff. So I could get some help in that direction. Let's see here. Looks like we're going to try this again. All right, let's see if we can get our Instagram folks on board here. Hi, Instagram folks. We're over here on Facebook Live and making sure that we have you on tonight, and we're talking about how angels or guides speak to us. All right, and so we covered topic number one is we ask them for a way to communicate to us. Okay, any kind of sign. So one of the clients I was working with the other day, she says how she hears her angels, and the sign that she works with them is she asks them to see numbers, and I thought that was really a great way to do it. So she says. If I want to know if this is the right business deal for me, I ask my angels to see the number 4 everywhere. And she goes, and everywhere I turn, it's the number 4. And I know it's okay to make the deal. And I know that might sound a little woo woo or ridiculous, but you know what? She's asking for the sign, she's getting the sign, she's following through, and she's making great business deals. So you know it's working. All right, number 2 on how your angels or guides communicate with you is to notice when things show up for you. If you've been asking God, Spirit, or Source for help, I'd like for you to notice, when do things show up for you? Seriously. I've been asking for some help with some financial matters that I have, really not knowing what to do. I could go investigate, learn how to take care of things, but it takes time. And you have so many hours in a day and so many things to do. And so I was asking for my angels, my guides, to bring somebody that could help me. And I just stayed open. And I met someone today that said, that it was actually meeting them for a different reason. And they opened up and said, hey, you know what? I know how to help you in this matter. And, I'll meet you next week and we'll go over all the details. So it's just simply by asking and staying open to what appears in front of you. A lot of times things appear in front of us and we just ignore them. Sometimes I've had it where I'm trying to rush out the door and I get out the door and I'm, running somewhere and then all of a sudden I'm like, did I forget to turn this off or did I forget to turn that off, and I'm like, and I go back in the house and I check, come back out, and then I'm driving down the street and I see a wreck that's just happened. And I realized that if I had been a few seconds earlier, I might have been involved in that accident. That is also a way that angels and guides communicate with us because they show up and put things in our past that keep us on a different trajectory or timeline that will benefit us. And it doesn't have to be a wreck. It could be, a happy coincidence where, you come across a friend or meet up with somebody that you haven't seen in a while. So number 3 on how do you know if your angels or guides are communicating with you is we get information in our heads. So angels and guides will communicate telepathically. What does that mean? That means it's a frequency that they create from the 4th dimension, which is a higher vibration than what we're in. We're in the 3D. And they communicate it outwards and they send it outwards, to us so that we can hear. And our brains will pick it up and we'll either hear words or we think thoughts. And that's how our angels communicate to us. So if you're out there, and you're listening tonight and you hear something, like a voice in your head, maybe your own voice in your own head, or you get thoughts or ideas that really help you out, can you give me a thumbs up? And for those of you over here on Instagram, if you can give us a heart over here, that would be great. So that's the 3 ways that I know. And I'm going to give you another example of how my guides talk to me. So we're entering the first year after the announcement of COVID. So we're in post-COVID. And right when COVID hit, I was down at the bookstore where I'm at Thursday for Heaven's Sakes Books. I'll be there this Thursday. And I was at the end of my day clearing up my energies, and I was told to go down to the store and to buy some water. And I thought to myself, oh, everybody's already panicked. There won't be any water left. But you know what? I didn't doubt. I didn't fear. I just followed my guides. My thought was there wouldn't be any left. But I followed what they asked me to do. I went down to the store, went into the water, aisle, and if you've ever been in a big grocery store, they've got just, a whole huge aisle of nothing but water and soda pop and all that. And the only water that was left on the aisle was some real super expensive water, in a bottle about like that, and about that tall up on the top. And I thought, okay, I came and I followed what you guys told me to do, and I know it wasn't my ego. So where's the water that you wanted me to get? Because they had told me already the size of the water they wanted me to get, which is like, I think it's like 2.5 gallons. It's like this wide and it has a handle on the top, about that big, really big. And I heard two words in my head: bend down. So I bent down. And when I did, there were exactly the amount, two of these containers of water. There was that exactly that many, and that's how many they told me to go and get. So following what your guides tell you gives you a certain amount of trust with them. Because my ego could have told me that and there would have been no water there. But this water was turned sideways. So instead of being on the shelf where you could see it when you were standing up easily, it was on the bottom and pushed back sideways. Exactly what they told me. Exciting story, right? But true. So anyway, if you have any questions, I'm going to go over here in the feed. I'll look over here for you that are watching on Instagram as well. And I'm going to see if I have any questions or comments. And then we're going to talk about how do you take action. And more importantly, if you didn't see me last night, why do you take action? All right. So I have Angie says the energies are crazy. Yes, Angie, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Hi, Manuel. Nice to see you. It's so good to see you. Brandy says hers communicate through music. Awesome sauce. I like it. Perla says hers is numbers, so she communicates in numbers. That's also wonderful. Let's see if we have anything else. And I don't see any other comments. And hi to Lily over here on Instagram. If you have any questions, just post them down there in the feed. All right. The second thing we're going to cover tonight is how do you take action. And so if you didn't see the Facebook Live last night, and for those of you on Instagram that don't have a Facebook account, go to toolsofenergyprotection.com, and it's going to be in the very top blog, except for after I post tonight's blog. It'll be on yesterday's blog, and there'll be a link over to the YouTube video so you can watch that. For those of you on Facebook, just scroll down, because what I talked about was an energy frequency that I haven't seen on Schumann's in my 2 to 3 years of studying it. And so I explained that in the video and why that means we need to take action and what energies are there to support us. But a lot of people don't know how to take action. They're like, they know they need to, they know what they want to do, but they're not really sure how. So if you are finding yourself currently struggling with deep levels of frustration, feel like you can't get off center or you're stuck, and it's like you know what you need to do, but you don't do it, the next day you don't do it, the next day you don't do it, so you're feeling really stuck, or you're struggling with exhaustion. If you're just really super tired, you're like, I just can't do this anymore. Or if you're feeling overwhelmed. How many of you out there show a thumbs up? Our hearts over here are just feeling so super overwhelmed. You can't possibly process another thing. You're maybe watching the news or just what's in your own personal life or, circumstances you're having to deal with in the post-COVID world. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know if that's you. And then also if you're having random surges of anger followed by sadness. That's often a sign that you're not sure how to progress your life, how to create things differently. Emotionally unstable, feelings of abandonment, feelings of low self-esteem. We talked about that last night. And trouble having a good night's sleep. So if you're having any of these symptoms, what that means is that you're not creating a balanced life. You're not manifesting. You're not using these beautiful powers that are coming to us through the Schumann's frequency, that are actually uplifting us and holding us towards change. You're not using any of them. And when you don't, it causes you to sink down because you're not allowing the elevator or the escalator to take you up. So I'd like for you to begin to accept that these energies are here. and they're to be celebrated, and they're nurturing, and they're uplifting. If only you can harness the power, the energy, and it will take you, it's like stepping on the bottom of an escalator and going right up. So let's take some of that pressure off of you. Let's help you to write your own new story, whatever you desire, like the little genie in the lamp. And so if you desire to take action, I'd like for you to know 90% of change, listen closely, 90% of change is your thoughts. In last night's video, I talked about how many of us live in our heads, but we don't take action. So, with the energies being wiggy or strange, as Angie pointed out, or crazy, it's calling us to take our minds, all of our thoughts, and our hearts and align them as one and take action. So, if you didn't already know it, changing your world, taking steps forward, taking bold action is 90% thinking about it and 10% doing something with those thoughts. But if you're not sure how and what steps that you have to do, then just taking any kind of action is just craziness because you're not pointed in the right direction. So if you know what it is you desire to do and are looking for traction, I'm going to reopen up a class that I've taught. This will be a new class. And it's called Your Best Story. Now, let me look it up real quick so I can give it to you. It's over on toolsofenergyprotection.com. It's on the top. If you scroll down, it's called Awaken the Power of Your New Story Now. And with all the changes that are happening in the world and things that are happening right now, this energy that's lifting us up, for those of us that pay attention, you're going to be a lot better off. You're going to be connected more to God's Spirit Source. You're going to be able to direct yourself towards the money you desire, the relationship you desire, better health. You know, you've just got to take action. 10%. So if you love yourself enough to create a new and balanced life, a sustainable, single focus to create that life in daily living, easy steps, I'm telling you, easy steps, and you're ready to accept the awareness and the awakeness, this is for you. There are easy steps. We will do it in an hour and a half. I'll get you going. I'll give you all the things to fill out so that all you have to do is just sit with me during that class time, journal, be able to write, or if you can't write, type or voice notes, and then apply what I teach you in that time frame for 20 days, 15 to 20 days, and watch your life change. It's really that simple. Can I guarantee it? No, because it's up to you to take the information from here and take the action, 10%. But it can't get any easier than that. So if you've been asking your guides to do things for you, help you, show you the way, you know, the gate's open. It's up to you to walk forward. Okay? So I would love to have you come and join me in that class. And I'm going to do it on April the 13th from 7 p.m. to 8:30. That's a Tuesday. So it's about the same time. I'm going to move Terrific Tuesday up a little bit, and I'll let everybody know that. And we'll meet from 7:30 to 8:30 on Tuesday the 13th. And the reason that date is so important is because the energies, again, will be forming and uplifting. They'll be supporting our throat and our ability to speak. Super exciting. So you'll be able to speak your future into a few papers I'm going to have you fill out, very few, and then you're going to use that every single day, and you're going to watch your life transform. And I know it works because 5 years ago, I used the same technique to move into the house I now live in. Before I used that technique, I had no prospects. I couldn't find a place to live. I couldn't find a place that was in my budget. And it was just like a desert for opportunity. And I kept asking and praying and saying, please, God, provide me with a place to live. You know, I got to have some place to live if I'm going to serve these people. And this technique was put right in my lap. It was an action. Like the guy earlier in the story that had to climb up the ladder, you know, or get in a boat to be saved from drowning. And so I did it. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Before I knew it, an opportunity appeared. I took action on that opportunity, and 5 years later, I'm still in this beautiful place that I live. All right. Oh, hi, Chelsea. Good to see you. Okay. So those are the two main subjects that I wanted to talk about. So if you're ready to take action in your life and allow these energies to lift you up and make this transformation easier, I'd like for you to go to toolsofenergyprotection.com and click. It's not going to be on the top now. When you get over there, if you're on the phone, you'll have to scroll down a little bit, just a little bit to scroll down on the phone to get to it. If you're on the laptop, it's the very top one. There's a woman holding a book up where you can't see her face. And that is the one to register so that we can get together and do this in this little tiny workshop. Very convenient, very easy, but the results are guaranteed. If you do the work, the results will come, whatever you ask for. Okay? Genie in the bottle. All right. So a quick couple of other shares for you. Um, Again, I did talk last night on the video about taking action and why it's so important and why the Schumann's frequency is all kind of like I've never seen it in a couple of years. Also, tomorrow night, which is Wednesday, March 24th, 2021, we will be having the Energy Shift Inner Circle, where we're going to get together. We're going to talk about this latest shift. If you're really feeling wiggy about these energies and you need some support, some understanding, what do I do? How do I work through it? That's the place for you. It's a month-to-month membership. You can come and join us, and after the month's up, if you don't want to be there anymore, you know, go. If you like it, stay. We have a community, so we get on. I share all the information on how to transform your life during these changes, how to have hope, how to look forward to things, how to communicate to your guides, what tools to use. And then afterwards, everybody in the community gets a chance to talk and speak to each other and support each other if they want. We also have a Facebook group that they can communicate back and forth. And this community is just building. And if you know, it is best to get in to these kind of things on the ground floor because you make the best relationships, the best friendships, and the best connections. So, you know, bring yourself, bring your authentic self and join us and add to this because, you know, I'm always learning. Maybe you have something to share that everybody can learn from. All right. Now, the last and final thing I'd like to share with you um, uh, is that I am so blessed by the beautiful lovelies that follow me, um, by the community that comes and works with me, and those of you that just watch. And I had several people text me from out of state, so lovelies, thank you, asking me about the shooting that took place in Boulder, Colorado. And that really touched my heart, that they wanted to make sure that I was safe. And, you know, if you don't live in a certain state, you don't always know where all the towns are and how they're related. And as you know, this last year I've been through the fires and before that it was the floods and all that other stuff. So thank you to everybody who reached out to me to make sure that I was okay. And yes, I'm okay. And as you know, I don't watch a lot of news, but I did tune into it because I wanted to see what was happening And I'd like to shout out to one woman in particular who was part of this real time experience. And her name is Sarah Moonshadow. I don't know her personally, but she was a woman that during the crisis point was able to process what she was hearing in an emergency situation. She was calm. She listened to what was happening. She evaluated it. She established a sequence of repeating occurring events within that small event, and she focused on direction during that time of crisis. Brave woman. I don't know, you know, if you all ever been in an emergency situation, but keeping a calm, cool head and taking decisive action isn't easy. So a shout out to her for her bravery. Um, and I would like to ask all of you that are watching either live or later on the recording, because today is March 23rd, 2021. And I'd like to ask you all to join with me for a moment of silence for the 10 folks that lost their lives and their families. They are going to be going through quite a lot with their loss. And I don't know how many were affected that will be going through post-traumatic stress disorder and their families. But I'd like to just take a few moments of silence and send them some love for fast, speedy health and reestablishment of their lives. So a moment of silence, please, and join me in prayer. Thank you. Love, compassion goes out to all of these folks and their families. So that is it, my loves. Please remember this Thursday and Friday at For Heaven's Sakes Books, I will be there. 303 964 9339 to come and see me in person. If you want to book outside the store hours, you can go on For Heaven's Sakes Books, click on practitioners, and then I'll pop up and you can click on the appointment time that you want. It's like booking online on my system. It's the same thing. Remember, for those of you that are needing a little discount, Friday is the discounted day, so it's less. The hour is, I believe, discounted at like 25%, something like that. Sorry, and I'm not good with math. And half hours are discounted as well. So thank you very much. Next week, I am going to be doing Akashic Record readings live here on Facebook. So if you do have a question and you're not a Facebooker, maybe a YouTuber, you'd like for me to answer your Akashic Record question, please go, or over here on Instagram, please go to toolsofenergyprotection.com and click on contact, and my email address is there, and you can send me an email, and I'll be glad to include some of the Akashic Record questions for next week live. So thank you so much. Have a great and wonderful night. God bless.